All right, we're in Studio One. I'm going to show you stuff here. This I actually went over in an episode or a lesson of DAW School, which you could find at dawjunkie.com. It's a live training that I do. But check this out. If you go into Instruments, let's just bring in my tie. And if you can't see, my camera's not going over that far, but if I put my camera over here, you can see now there's two knobs typically on your MIDI controller, the wheels. Sometimes they're strips. And you might have more, you might only have one, but a lot of MIDI controllers like this have them. I'm looking at the bottom of the screen now here. In a synthesizer, if you play a note and you move the wheel farthest to the left, that's your pitch bend. That changes the pitch. Like some of you guys probably already know this, and you're like, yo, this is so simple, shut up. But it gets better, trust me, so stick with me. So you can use that wheel to adjust your sound. Cool thing in Studio One, or at least my tie, is you can adjust the amount of bend over here in the left. Right now it's only 2, so it's only going up 2 notes. You can make this thing go up 24, maybe even more. So you can get some real growly, like dirty stuff going on. So let's put the cutoff. Well, let's actually initialize a My Tai patch. Put the cutoff all the way to the top. Maybe chuck some reverb and delay on, and now try. Cool. All right, we got all that. That's very simple and common. We know this already, most of us. But some of us don't, so you just learned something. Now, here's the cool thing that you might not know. The other wheel, the mod wheel. If we move the mod wheel, we can see it's already mapped to the mod wheel here. Most keyboards have a mod wheel next to the pitch wheel. And the mod wheel is basically something that is not typically just assigned automatically like the pitch. Mod wheel, some programs do it, some just leave it blank and let you decide what you want to do with it. But I'm going to show you how to assign it to something in Studio One. It's done using these mod buttons down here. Okay? This is specifically in the My Tai synthesizer. But it also has this in Presence and a lot of the other PreSonus instruments. But we're just going to be talking about PreSonus stuff right now. In the PreSonus instruments, typically there's a mod A and a mod B. Let's just open mod A. It gives us this grid, which if you've never seen it before, might look somewhat confusing. But this grid basically allows you to assign things like this wheel, this mod wheel, to almost any knob on the synthesizer to control it. And it's very easy to set up. You just click the top, because this is what you want to, you just click the top, and you pick mod wheel. And now I'm basically saying, okay, when the mod wheel does something, I want it to affect something in this synthesizer. Like, for example, the big cutoff knob here, which we move around a lot in our videos. I want my mod wheel to adjust the cutoff. So I just pick mod wheel up here, and at the very bottom, I find cutoff, filter cutoff. And now my mod wheel is adjusting the cutoff. Now, funny thing is, PreSonus kind of already predicted that most people assign their mod wheel to the cutoff, so they already assigned it over here. They basically did the same thing we did here. But let me get rid of what they did because I want to do it. So I'm just going to get rid of everything they did. And we want to use ours that we did over here. It was just coincidence they happened to do the same thing we're trying to do here. So now when I move the mod wheel, it will adjust the cutoff. But let's listen. I'm going to play a note and adjust the mod wheel. Okay, I'm adjusting the mod wheel now. It's not doing anything. And you might be like, Steve, why isn't it not doing anything? You said it's assigned. Well, there's one other thing which gives you control here of the situation. This thing in the middle is not just a line to look pretty. It's actually a fader, which determines how much the mod wheel is going to affect the cutoff. Is it going to affect a lot, or is it going to affect a little? So if we put it to a lot, And then we turn the mod wheel. It's still not doing anything. And you're like, why is it not doing anything now? I'm following all your instructions. It's because the cutoff is already maxed out up here. You got to give it some room to work. So let's just put the cutoff at half. Now, the mod wheel affects the cutoff. All right. Now let's do something fun. Let's make the resonance about halfway, and we could also assign the mod wheel to the resonance at the same time and push it all the way up. And let's hear how this sounds now. It gives it a squeaky sound. So you can assign the mod wheel to several different things at the same time if you want. And then you could play with the mod wheel and the pitch wheel and get some crazy cool sounds if you move them both at the same time. Oh, but we want to make the bend 24. We want to get crazy here. If we make the bend 24 and then move them both at the same time. Let's try it maybe with some of the other presets. Oh no, I just got rid of everything I just did. But you get the idea. This grid, this is actually called the modulation matrix. This grid down here. All a matrix is a series of rectangles next to each other with numbers in them. That's what a matrix is. That's like the definition, Steve's definition. So a modulation, and what does modulation mean? If you modulate something, it means you change it. To modulate something is to change it. So this matrix, all these rectangles allow you to change things in the synthesizer using triggers like the mod wheel or the pitch bend wheel. We can even use anything in this list as a trigger, which we're not really going to go over today because it's just a lot of stuff. I don't want to confuse you. But right now we went over the pitch bend wheel and the mod wheel. And say you want the pitch bend wheel to not just adjust the pitch. Say you want the pitch bend wheel to adjust the pitch and maybe the cutoff. Well, let's just change this to pitch wheel because this is already set to cutoff, this guy. And let's turn it up and make the bend now 24. Now it's going to adjust the cutoff and the pitch at the same time. So it's kind of wild. And maybe we want the pitch bend wheel to adjust the resonance at the same time it's adjusting those two things too. So now we have this. But we got to give the resonance some juice here. That's pretty fun. And then we could maybe chuck some reverb and delay on there and then just make it. Sounds a little bit like the synth in the Rocky theme. Okay, get the idea? So you can use the modulation matrix to assign things to modulate or affect other things. So don't be afraid of the modulation matrix. It's your friend. And we're going to get more into other stuff. But right now, if you haven't done it yet, screw around with the pitch bend and the mod wheel and assign it to things. Let's make the mod wheel now. Assign to, I don't know, let's pick, let's pick the panning of oscillator 1. So panning means either going to your left ear or your right ear. The sound is going from your left ear to your right ear. So now the mod wheel, if you're wearing headphones, oh, mod wheel is also assigned to cutoff. Let's get rid of that. Now the mod wheel is now moving the sound from ear to ear. So, there you go. Fun stuff, right? All right, so have fun with the modulation matrix. At least you know what it does now. And then you can see it is also in presence. If you click mod, you got a whole modulation matrix there. Is it in sample 1? No, It's not in sample 1, so you don't need to worry about it there. Is it in impact? Nope, don't need to worry about it there. Right now it's in presence and Mai Tai. Is it in lead architect? I don't know if you guys have lead architect. I did a whole video on that too. No, so just know that it's in presence and Mai Tai and many other synthesizers. Like if I do, if I do like modulation matrix in synth, you could see that, and I'll just go to Google Images. You could see a lot of different synthesizers have modulation matrices. So even different brands, it's a common thing, have modulation matrices. So it's not just Studio One. Like there's a synthesizer in Reason. There's the modulation matrix there. This is one, I think this is Serum. It's got it going on there. It's a little bit of a matrix. Logic, the old Logic synthesizers have, here's a old Logic synthesizer. There's a modulation matrix. So I encourage you to modulate things. And that's all we're going to do in this video.